Ladies and gentlemen, this is Stevie J from Glove Up or Shut Up, WrestlingObserver.com, and AngryMarks.com with your UFC Fight Night Saffiedine vs. Lim results. I'm doing this audio only because I started recapping this at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm tired as hell, and I don't feel like I'm camera ready right now, so we're going to just do audio here and discuss these fights, starting with Russell Doane defeating Leandro Issa in a bantamweight bout with a triangle choke at 4:59 of the second round when Issa went out cold. It looked like it was going to be after the end of the round, but either way, he was finished when he wasn't able to continue. He didn't tap, but the fight was over. The next fight was also a submission, appropriately enough, by a man named Kimura. Dustin Kimura defeated John De Los Reyes by armbar at 2:13 of the first round. So we got off to a very good start with the first two prelims, then things kind of bogged down for a while. And Taisumov was clearly the superior striker in this fight, and the most notable thing I can say is that Leon Roberts kept giving out warnings for strikes to the back of the head, even though I didn't see anything that was blatantly illegal. We'll get into that in a little bit though, because there were some that caused a DQ in another fight. But anyway, Taisumov picks up the win. Then we get the other fight billed on the poster for Singapore, and that was Royston Wee versus Dave Galera. Another decision here. This one was 30-26 times 3, and all in favor of Singapore's Royston Wee. I see that name and I want to say Hoyston. That's just how long I've been watching Brazilians, but since he's not Brazilian, doesn't apply here. There was an illegal kick for a 1-point deduction in the third round, and it was restarted correctly with Galera on his back and Wee on top. He got back up and Wee took him right back down and rode it out till the finish. Then at lightweight we had Katsunori Kikuno and Quinn Mulhern. Mulhern, being a Strikeforce veteran, won 3 out of 4 fights there, but really didn't do much of anything in this fight because he would go for takedowns and pull guard repeatedly, and Kikuno just ended up riding on top of him doing what he wanted for almost the entire fight. So Mulhern, bad strategy here. Did not work out for you. Thankfully, the prelims were turned around by the main event, Max Holloway versus Will Chope. Kind of ridiculous that Chope fights at featherweight and he's 6'4", but Max Holloway was not intimidated by the size or the reach because he was able to outstrike him at the end of the first round and nearly finished him. Then came out like a wrecking ball in the second round and got the stoppage at 2:27. So props to Max Blessed Holloway, and he was the third Hawaiian to win on this card in the prelims, so they were 3-0 at this point. The main card started out at bantamweight with Kyung-Ho versus Shunichi Shimizu, and this is where things got a little bit wacky. Because Steve Percival, yes, you remember him from the last Australia card, right? Steve Percival was the referee here. He was full of all kinds of warnings for the fighters. Then he stopped it for illegal 12-6 elbows that opened up Shimizu, but instead of taking away 1 point, he took away 2 points. So as a result, Shimizu ended up winning around 9-8 that he had previously been losing 10-9. As for the next 2 rounds, they went 10-9 for Ho, and they were going 10-9 the way of Ho in the third, and he probably would have gotten a 28-27 if it had gone to the judges. But Brian Stan felt that he needed to finish, or it was going to be a draw, or he was going to lose. So maybe Brian Stan needs to work on the math. Still like him, though. Still think he did a good job on commentary overall. It was academic, as Shimizu got battered by Ho, dropped by some more hard shots when he tried to stand back up, and it was turned into a submission by arm triangle for Busan, South Korea's own Mr. Perfect, Kyung-Ho. Next up, the even more controversial fight, Kiichi Kunimoto versus Luis Dutra. Dutra was not in his right mind when he was throwing shots at Kunimoto. He did not even bother to look where his strikes were landing. He was blasting him with elbows on the ground, and they were clearly to the back of the head on the replay. The referee, John Sharp, stepped in to stop the fight at about 2 minutes 50 seconds, and Kunimoto could not even get up. He couldn't do anything. He was clearly unable to continue. It was DQ'd, and Kunimoto wins as a result at 2:57 of the first round. Dutra was so upset he was crying, but really he should have been crying for Kunimoto because he was taken out of the octagon on a stretcher. Probably as a precaution, but still, it looked nasty. He deserved the DQ here. Then we had longtime Pride and Shudo veteran Crusher Kawajiri making his UFC debut, and a successful debut it was at that, getting the submission 50 seconds into the second round by rear naked choke. And that was after the ref Steve Percival missed the tap and Soriano went out cold. So Percival sucked as a referee on this card. Nobody liked him in Australia to begin with, and now he's botched two different things on another Fight Night card that was the debut for UFC Fight Pass. So get this guy out of the octagon, never let him referee anything again. Crusher Kawajiri wins. The main event was a story of first and fifth round going the way of Lim and everything else going the way of Saffiedine via nasty, nasty leg kicks. I'm talking Lim couldn't even stand without hobbling by the end of the fifth round. Everybody wants to say it was all heart and guts, and yeah, he did manage to rock Saffiedine late in the fifth round just by ignoring the fact that he was nearly crippled, but he still lost 49-46 and 48-47 times 2, so all the heart in the world didn't change the fact that he had the leg kicked out of his leg. That's it for UFC Fight Night Saffiedine vs. Lim. I'm Stevie J.